Squatch and Holler. Please like and subscribe.
And hit that bell.
Hey, y'all. This is a equipment test. This is no show. Sometimes I use you guys to test the equipment. Now, I don't have anybody to talk to. How does the mic sound? I got a new mic. Can you tell the difference? I've got some other equipment that I haven't hooked up yet. I'll have to get some help with that. But hopefully this is a little better. It's working. Okay, that's good. I'll get Keely to help me with this. I've been wanting to. I'll probably wear a black. I didn't want the wireless. I can hide that, but I have tested the headphones. I'm not hearing them now, but it'll help me with the guests hear everything they say. So, hey, Pyro, shut up. Oh, does it sound good? What are you doing, Pyro? 30 or hour check. Yeah, I do them all the time. But I was just gonna make sure I had it, does a little 10-ish. Okay. What about now? I've got another little expensive piece of equipment that I don't know how to use yet. And it's supposed to be where I can start doing some real podcasting. So I've got somebody teaching me some of that. So I didn't know if this is the right distance or whatever. I mean, my other one used to sit right here, so that's pretty cool. It's improved some. Okay, hold on. What about now? Hey, Abnormal AI. KDG. Thank y'all for coming in here. I had. What about now? I've got to learn this. Hold on a second. Does that sound pretty good, Katie? Oh, really? Okay, good. All right. Well, I've had people get on to me, try to help me. Like, hey, man, you need a good mic set up. Dude, that stuff, to me, it's expensive. So I want to start doing actual podcasts. So I had to bite the bullet a little bit. And okay, so I won't touch it. I'll leave it right where it's at, the settings, and I'll use y'all as guinea pigs. Yeah, Katie with the ear. You musician or a magician? That's both. Tell you something, y'all. Just since we're here, I'll probably delete this. But hold on. Person blue speaking my. Hold on. Greg's like, what are you doing? Testing live. You wanna chat? We might get Greg on here. See what he's been at. Oh, he's got some stuff to tell y'all too. Patrick and Greg visited Kumbo, and I'm gonna wait. If he comes on here, I'm gonna send him an invite, y'all. Hold on. He might be plumb naked or something. Hold on. Let's see. Invite. Y'all know I'm slow. Hold on a second. Give me a second and I'll try to get him in here. That didn't work. All right, y'all. Let me call him right quick. I don't need to put him on speakerphone. Hold on. And Greg House, we're live. No, he's not entered yet. He didn't enter. He ain't got his beard brushed or nothing. But so I'm tickled as long as at least y'all can hear an improvement with the mic. That makes me feel better. Because I can always adjust it once I learn how to do that. So all right. All right, abnormal. Yeah, this is just just a test. But sometimes when we get on here, we have pretty good stuff. But I don't have anybody. Hold on, this is Greg. Y'all, hold on. Hold on. Hey, you're live, so not really. I'm live. I'm testing out the mic. What are you doing? Can you go live and so I can test my headphones? We got about 8 people in here. You want to tell about what y'all did the past couple days? All right. To the messenger. All right. All right. Bye. All right, y'all. We got a guest coming on. He said about 2 minutes or so. He's a few minutes from the man cave. So here's what I'm working on. So I talked to the test that I did with our little video. Of course, we used AI and all that stuff and some video, and it was really a test. Now that Keely's on board, we can do some documentary style videos. And I've been putting a few things out testing, but I'm not going to say what my idea is, but I've got a few people on board. Amanda and Ashley's on board. Keely's on board. I'm gonna try to get Peyton. He hadn't heard about it yet. And it's an idea I've had for a while, and I'm going to focus on something. And it probably won't be really long for my first one, but it's something I've been wanting to do for a while. So, that's something we can get put together. I've already got one witness that's that wants to talk, and we'll see how it goes. But Greg, I sent the thing to Greg. Y'all the other night, they called me, and Patrick Noble, Kumbo Baker, and Greg are on one phone. Greg's on the phone, and they're all three trying to talk to me at the same time. and we're laughing and carrying on, and I can't. It's crazy. Yeah, y'all. I could play that video if y'all want to. Anybody that hadn't seen the video? I'm proud of it. I know people probably got tired of me doing the songs and stuff, but we had a lot of stuff we had written for years. I've got a Dogman song. Y'all want to hear it before he comes on here? Nobody's heard that yet on here. Y'all tell me. I've got Squatch and Holler. I almost did what everybody else does. Sasquatch and Holler. Squatch and Holler. I've got the video and I've got the Dogman song. Let me see. So let me see if I can play. If I've got it, I probably lied to y'all. I think I put it. Yeah, it's not a. It's not in a video. Let me see if it will play. Hold on. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear the music.
Whispers in the hollers,
This is
shadows
Peyton.
in the trees. Kentucky's got a secret carried on the breeze, from the mammoth caves deep echo to the dark of land between the lakes. A creature roams the twilight, for whom no hunter waits.
We'll listen to it until Greg comes on.
Dogman howls, a chilling sound, echoes through the hills all around. Red eyes gleaming, claws
Well, hear me talk at the same time.
He's the guardian of the dark, ripping you apart. Campfire stories told low round the flickering flame of a beast with a man stance, but a dog's wild name. Some say he's just a legend, a tale to make you fear, but others swear they've seen him lurking ever near. Dogman howls, a chilling sound, echoes through the hills all around. Red eyes gleaming,
So I can be like a DJ, right?
so sharp, he's the guardian of the dark, ripping you apart. Underneath the moonlight, in the pale and ghostly glow, he walks on two legs, a silhouette we know. The rustling of the branches, a twig snaps on the ground. He's watching, always watching, without a single sound. Dogman howls, a chilling sound, echoes through the hills all around. Red eyes gleaming, claws so sharp, he's the guardian of the dark, ripping you apart. Beware the lonely highway when the fog rolls in thick and deep. The dogman's out there waiting, secrets he will keep. Dogman howls.
Taro.
Dogman.
So that was Peyton. We don't do it again. What we're doing with this music, we can make our own videos, and with the Squatch and Holler one, I've already picked out like 63 seconds for a intro or outro, and I won't be copyright flagged because we created it. So, um, yeah, it's been fun. But Greg saw the message. He's probably brushing his beard as soon as he pops on in here. Hold on. And this is a test. Anybody that comes in and don't want to stay, I understand completely. I'm just tickled it's working. Uh-oh, I hear a howl's warning. Hold on. Uh-oh. What's going on?
Oh man, not much. Been out enjoying the rain today. Let's see if I can get this flipped around.
How's the mic sound?
Sounds pretty good right here.
Okay. Everybody at least it's working. That's the thing I was worried about. Hey, Flower Child. This is totally unplanned. I appreciate you coming on. I wanted to test these two because can't tell anything. I was telling them about Patrick visiting, and y'all called me the other night, and all three of you was trying to talk to me at the same time. I'm on the phone. It's like it was like everybody's having a big time. Check
Oh,
1
yeah.
2. Check 1 2. That's Joe Dirt.
No doubt. Yeah, no, we had a good time, man. I think Patrick had a real good trip. He I think he said it took him about a little over 7 hours to get here. And we had a good time, man. We didn't really have anything much happen here, but well, we didn't have a whole lot happen at Coonbo's, but hey, we went and I showed him around, showed him 3 different places where I've had good sightings. I showed him both places where I saw him run across the highway, and then I showed him where the one I saw here in my yard was. And I'm not equipped to hike down in there where the one I saw run up the hill that day in the woods. But I'm getting there. I'll get maybe 4 too many months. I'll be able where I can walk back in there in the woods. But yeah, he got I told him he got the nickel tour, and he said he felt like it was at least 50-cent tour.
Yeah, I bet you can be the soundboard. Pyro's he's crazy. Yeah, we got like 11 people in here, and I've been just I played a song and been talking and just testing out. So
Which song did you play? I got to flip it on my TV up there where I can see the chat. For some reason, I can't get this to clip over where I can see chat and do this at the same time.
On the phone, I know sometimes you can, sometimes it don't work. Sometimes when I'm doing it, it's like there it is, and the next time I'll kick myself out of the chat. I mean, out of the whole thing.
Well, it's like right now, we look like a dadgum. I look like I'm looking at a dice or something. We're like little tiny on my phone, like half the screen.
Yeah. Well,
hold on. I know I'm bleeding back. Hang on, I got to mute this.
I played the Dogman song. I got them uploaded just for the music, and that's what the past week or two been. It's been a lot of testing, so we can do things for fun, you know, and
this stupid phone. Now it's popping up. My phone was trying to connect to my TV, but now I can see one. Looks like one person that's texted or in the chat, but I don't know what to do with this.
Well, that's probably it'll load like the ones before them. Like when we're in chat on the computer, it'll show the ones before them as people start like. So I can.
Yeah, the only one I can see right now. Oh, now look, I see
that's
you.
Me. Yep. So Flower Child 58.
Yep. That's all I can see. But hey, look at there. So who all's in there with us?
Pyro, Roger Blair, Brian S, Flower Child 58.
Okay.
We got Southern Belle, Bigfoot, Clark
Pyro. Pyro. Patrick Nable went on the dadgum the excursion that I've been wanting Pyro to come on. He's going to have to get down here.
Katie G was in here earlier. She may still be here, but hey, Pyro, I told Heather the same thing. There was a couple of spots in there where the music sounded like Thunder Rolls a little bit.
There you go.
And I think what it does, you take and you put your I'll just tell you how it works. I've got songs that I've written 100% of the lyrics, and we've done them. Peyton's got some that 100% of the lyrics, but every now and then it'll think of a couple more gooder ones, you know, and it'll arrange it to where it flows. Like I remember one time he said, "I didn't put that in there." I said, "Well, just it sounds good," but it's, and some of the voices maybe like remind you of 2 or 3 different people, like they meld them together, so it won't, you know, they won't get in trouble. Hey,
Please tell me I didn't misunderstood you. Did you say more gooder ones?
Yeah, that was exactly what I said.
Okay, I was just checking. For people that are not from Tennessee or Alabama, we might have to explain. That means better.
Yeah. Well, the reason that it popped in my head, Pyro said Garth Brooks, and he used to wear the Mo Better shirts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why.
Man,
Well,
I used to really love Garth Brooks before he quit for a while and then come back all liberalized and went off the deep end.
Well, Peyton went on it. He went to see him on his farewell tour. I think that was farewell tour number 2. He's probably on number 4 now. Just keeps milking that money, but
man, back in the day when he first hit it, it wasn't long after Thunder Rolls comes out. Man, I had an 85 Mustang GT with 5.0 in it, and I had 4 12-inch subs in the back and a massive, I can't remember how many watt amplifier. Dude, you get in that thing, I crank that stereo up, you'd wait on rain to start hitting the windshield.
Yeah, the Thunder Roll. I know, it's amazing. Let me tell you my horror story. I had a Mustang in high school, and I was a senior, and I got a little bit of money, and I charged a little bit of money at some Nashville stereo place, one of the chain, you know, things. So I had a little bit, had half of it down, and they talked me into charging about half of it. So took it to my buddy's house, and his brother was a freaking genius, but he was so smart he would get you killed. You know what I mean? He wouldn't pay attention to what was going on. Well, anyway, we made a box for the back, you know, the woofers and the 6x9s, and we had everything look like it was factory installed. I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. We hooked it up, turned it up. I don't remember what I was listening to, and man, it sounded awesome. I get a mile down the road and smoke starts rolling.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. And I pulled that car over and we jumped out, threw the hatch back up. You know, I didn't have a fire extinguisher, but I don't know if turning the car off or turning the radio off or whatever. I turned the power off to the amp was smoking and something.
Yeah.
It messed up all. I still owed on that thing, and I didn't get to listen to it, but for a mile or so.
Golly, dude. Yeah. Sounds like y'all forgot to put in an inline fuse, maybe.
I don't know. I see. I didn't know anything, so I don't know what he did. And he didn't want to come out of the house. I was out there hollering at him, "Come here! I got see if you can fix this."
Yeah,
he didn't come out. But
well, I can tell you what, dude. That's what happens when people do wiring that don't understand wiring. We had a guy in the fire department about 5 years ago. We got it was a brand new Motorola radio, you know, police band or fire department band radio. And that thing was like $1,400. And we got another external speaker and some more stuff to hook up in there. And this one old boy in the fire department took it upon himself. He couldn't wait. Oh, we got to put it in. He went up there and put it in by himself. First time they throwed the power to it, what he done, he put it in one of the big fire trucks and wired it up. Well, he'd been okay if it'd been a normal vehicle. But what he didn't realize was all the power in that fire truck was 24 volt, not 12. And as soon as he kicked the switch over, everything in there went to turning golden cherry red and smoking. He burned up every bit of that equipment like instantly.
And trying to help.
Yeah.
But he didn't wait. I know.
That's one of them, would you stop helping?
Right. I've paid stupid tax myself before trying to help.
Yep.
So, man, so I saw y'all, yeah, this is how this goes down, y'all. I've been trying to get down there, and so anytime somebody comes, Greg he calls or texts and rubs it in, sends me pictures like, look what we're doing.
With the invite, like, hey, are you
I
coming?
know, you're right. I had we had a show planned and all that, and then um, thank you, Uncle Bubba, appreciate it. Uh, I don't know much about this stuff, and I tell you who recommended this. Old Vic Cundiff, y'all. He's a great guy. Y'all go listen to some of his stuff and show him support because um, he gave me some great advice and is trying to help me out. And I'm like, hey man, I got like a Temu budget. What's the best I can buy for a little bit of money? So
Yeah.
hopefully we can start doing some things. And my hip, the way it's going, it stopped. It stopped getting better, and I'm going crazy sitting at the house. So I can't get out and go talk to people much. And I get out a couple times a week, and uh, maybe. And we went to a drive-in the other night, and I sat there for like 3.5 hours. Man, I almost couldn't walk when I got out of the car, and I had certain pains that hadn't happened yet. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. But so I'm gonna try to do some stuff, to keep myself busy is all. And hopefully y'all won't get too mad at me for posting stuff. But
Well, you've had a lot of sitting around the house time on your hands. At least you've had something to do to keep you busy.
yeah, I don't have Windows Song loaded. All I got Booger Hunting, Dogman House, and Squatch and Holler. But y'all, we've got some songs that not many people heard.
Man, look, please tell me that Wendell Song's got something about Cold Check and Night Stalker in it.
No, no. I don't know if you heard it or not. It was and it wasn't really what it was. It was a song I wrote 25 years ago or better. And when I was redoing it to send it to Peyton, I had some ideas. Of course, like one of them, of course, y'all know that it's not written 25 years ago because windows open and skinny pedal down. Y'all know where that came from, right? So
Yes.
I kind of edited it a little bit, and daggum, we showed it in a private message group thread on Messenger. And I told Windows, I wrote this like 25 years ago, but I added some to it. And I said, he said something about, and I said, well, I wrote this when you still have brown hair. He said, you didn't know me then. Like I'm like, no, you're confused. Thank you, Southern Belle. So is it Selena or Solana? Because we've got a Solana that Tennessee that's spelt, I think, the same. There's Miss Phillips. How you doing? We're just chit chatting, y'all.
There's old Tiffany.
Oh man,
Maybe Tiffany's all. I want Tiffany. Tell us how are your progress? How are you doing with your leg?
yeah. It seems like all of us are.
Dude, we're going to
issues.
start the. We're going to start the. It ain't even gonna be wood walking because all of us about broke down, can't walk. We got to start like a compound or a rehab clinic or something. Squatching convalescent home.
Selena. All right, thank you. I thought I'd heard that. And that
Tiffany got a new phone.
Uh-oh. That's always fun.
Yes.
So so y'all heard a few far off howls, but nothing up close?
Man, I mean, Kumbo, he didn't call, but 2 or 3 patented Kumbo calls, but I was sitting in the truck. Kumbo and Patrick had got out, and they were standing kind of between my truck and Kumbo's, and they was on the opposite side from where I was, and I was just listening. And Kumbo had called a few times, and we didn't really get any responses, but I heard some coyotes way off, and in amongst the coyotes kind of settled down for a second, and I heard one scream back, and it was nearly a exact mimic of one of the calls that Coombo does, but it wasn't real loud. It sounded like it was probably half a mile away or further, but it was, I heard it, it was distinct, and it sounded like absolutely like it mimicked exactly one of the calls that Coombo had done just a few minutes before that. So yeah, that was about the only thing.
Geriatric booger squad.
Yes. So I'm gonna have a dang. I thought about having a Bigfoot carved on my crutches there for a while.
Get them burn in.
Yes.
So we were talking to Bama and Barry the other night, and I had an absolute blast. And he was talking about the Aztec death whistle, and I'm sitting there thinking, I don't believe I've ever heard one now.
You ain't
And
never heard one?
after the show, I went and looked one up. No daggum wonder.
Things is loud, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're loud. They're gonna provoke something, I'll tell you. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it makes some campers run off into the water. That's like the old dumb bull we talked about before.
Oh man, what are you
That
talking
thing,
about, dude?
you said, yeah, that's a scary sound.
Yeah.
What's up,
Man,
brother?
I look up there at the dadgum screen where I can actually see it because this I'm look like I'm about that big.
Yep.
I've been out in this dadgum rain, y'all. It's been slow raining here for the last 2 or 3 hours. I've been out having to work, and my beard looks like I've been hit by lightning again.
Well, I looked on the weather map. It's swirling. It's right on top of y'all. It's hitting us every now and then. It looks like a hurricane.
I've got one more guy right now that's waiting on me to come fix his air conditioner, and I had to send him a message while ago. I was like, "Look, Dave, the radar shows it's supposed to let up about 4:30 or 5 o'clock. So I'm gonna go get somewhere dry for a little bit, and I'll see you then." Because look, I mean, I'd love to fix his AC, but I can't hardly take the panels off of the outside unit with it pouring rain because all that electrical stuff in there don't need a bath.
Oh, okay. I got my. Guess who shows up? Wendell. Hey,
Mhm.
I wonder if Wendell has seen what Joe De Hoya has put on TikTok. You remember? Did you see the one where the guy was screaming that legend or something?
Yes.
Wendell, have you been on Joe's show yet? I like Joe. He's cool. And
Wendell's hammered, son. He's hammered down in the passing lane with the Bigfoot 911, ain't he?
Heck yeah.
Son, look.
Pyro, that's right. Talking about them whistles. Anything called a death whistle, it's probably going to be pretty shocking.
Well, Nate, look, the next that we got to figure out who can wear the small suit. I think the next meet and greet we're gonna get Wendell we're gonna get him a white suit, and he can be like Big Enos, Smokey the Bandit. He can walk around in a white suit. We just got to get somebody smaller statue to wear the little Enos suit. Go with it.
That'd be funny. Spencer.
Yeah, no, I'm winning somebody smaller now.
I'm joking. Spencer will kick my butt, y'all.
No doubt. We need. No, I'm not about somebody really small.
Oh, okay. Look, that popped up. I knew it was going to pop up. Oh man, y'all! I'm gonna stay off Spencer. We joke too much sometimes.
Spencer,
she can do it.
He's not that tiny. He's just shorter than me and Roger. I mean, I'm 6'1", and what are you, Roger? About 6'2"?
No, 6. I think I'm even shorter now.
I thought he was just about my height, or maybe a fuzz over. But I'm 6'1", barefooted.
Yeah, I used to be taller. It seems like, but I don't know. I hadn't measured.
It depends on which leg I'm standing on. If I stand on my right leg, I'm 6 foot, and if I stand on my left leg, I'm 6'1". I lost a little bit of length in my right leg. I'm probably going to start wearing a little bit of a pad or something on my right shoe to get me leveled out.
That might be what I have to do, because that's when they put that contraption in there, they can tell me all they want to that I'm level, but they ain't the one walking.
Man, before I had this piece of titanium put in, I felt like I was walking 1 foot on the curb and one on the pavement.
Yeah.
I'd lost right at 3 inches in the length of my leg when my ankle collapsed.
That Cowboys ride, that's exactly right. And I told the doctor, he's like, well, didn't they measure in when you go to therapy, I'm like, yeah, but that was bull crap because they had me laying flat on my back, and the guy pulled my feet level, and then that ain't a correct measurement. If I'm standing on flat ground, I've got pressure. If I'm walking down the hall, it's slanted a little bit. I
Yeah.
veer off to the right. I pull to the right or push to the right. Coming back up, my longer one's on the downhill side, and it's comfortable. So I told the doctor, you ain't sitting there telling me that it's right
Well,
because it
mine,
ain't.
part of mine right now is I had this messed up deal with my leg for so long. It's got my hip totally out of whack. And I keep going. I can go, look, dude, I can walk into the chiropractor's office limping like I've got a cool strut. I can go in there and it takes him 10 minutes. And dude, he'll pop my hips back in place. And when I stand up, I can walk just smooth as everything. My legs feel the same. But after 10, 12 hours, if I move right, sit wrong, my hips will go right back out of place and I have to go back. I hadn't went this week. I got to go back next week. But yeah, my hips was like my whole pelvis is twisted.
I feel like that might be what's going on with me, but
It may be because you've been gimped up too.
I mean, I just feel like I finally looked. I'm not going to show y'all. I mean, most of y'all probably know what it looks like. I didn't know what he actually did to me, and when I looked at it after a month and a half, it finally made sense why some of the pains are why they are.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, y'all, I'm gonna tell you. I told part of it earlier. There's not a lot to it, but I was so tickled. I got off the phone. They were in a bad spot for service, and it dropped the call. But it seems like we do that a lot. When we're in booger areas. But there was Patrick and Greg and Kumbo laughing, and Kumbo trying to tell a story, Greg trying to add to it, and Patrick couldn't get a word in edgewise, and he finally got something in, and the phone cut off. And I'm laughing. I told Heather, I said, I hate them. I hate them. I just wish I wished I was there, but I had, it didn't work out, but it will. So
Yeah. You got to get down here. I'm not kidding. We got to get Pyro. I don't know if I'm going to have to like
go get
send
him.
him a plane ticket or what, but we got to get him down here. Maybe he can get down this fall when the weather's nice. From right now, y'all, from right now till about mid-October, Alabama's like a sauna. This is not a great time to do very much outside.
No. That's like here, the first time the Chapel Hill, Jerry will get a kick out of this. The Chapel Hill tractor pull is like the Super Bowl tractor pulls, kind of, sort of. And we go sometimes, but it's really big and it's a lot of people and people from all over the country. And ESPN decided they were going to come down one time. And it's about 8:30, 9:00 at night, maybe 10:30, and the whole crew, ESPN, is drenched. They're drenched in sweat. The
Oh, man.
cameramen, the people trying to do the talking, and they just finally gave up. And then I couldn't wait for the broadcast to see how they were telling. They were like, oh, it's like 92 degrees and 98% humidity down here, and it's August or whatever it is, July.
Yeah.
But it's not fun for us either. But
Oh, Pyro said deer season. Yeah, look, right here where I'm at, Pyro, you need to be planning on like the week after Thanksgiving till the second week of December. By say December from say November the 20th to like December the 14th. That's when usually every year that's when our major deer rut is. That's the time to come. So right now, start penciling it in, figure it out, and get yourself down here.
oh yeah, for y'all that don't know, Tennessee had a 4.1 earthquake earlier today.
Yeah.
I just happened to be driving when it happened. And there's people that felt it all the way to Nashville, above Nashville, and down in here too. If any of y'all saw the video I did yesterday, I just threw one together. Found a random car out in the woods. It was on the side of the road, but on at Horton Park property, state property. And there was a trail to it. Gary Spike said he thought it was an old Rambler, old 4-door Rambler. I knew I didn't know the fins and stuff didn't look familiar to me, and the headlights were where they were supposed to be looked different. So it's kind of odd. Yeah, I didn't feel it either. Like I said, I started getting texts and calls, and I'm like, well, we were driving. So, and see here, if you're out in California and some of these other places around the world, you get that rocking and rolling of that wave, you know. Well, I guess North Alabama, Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, and all we're sitting on a big old dome of limestone. It's a big limestone deposit. And so what happens when that energy hits that limestone, it's so big it'll vibrate. It's like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like if somebody's dynamiting a mile away or two.
100%. That's what I was gonna say, Roger. Yep, just like an explosion went off. It ain't just the ground starts shaking.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, the first earthquake that we had that I knew of in my lifetime would have been in 90 or 91. And dude, I was of course living at home. I was like, a junior or senior in high school. And mother and them's got a big old house, and I was in the upstairs bedroom. Man, when it hit, I was laying in bed asleep. It woke me. I sit straight up in the bed. I was looking out. I jumped up and looked out the window looking for a mushroom cloud. It was like a big boom, just like boom, and it echoed. It was still echoing when I sit up in the bed, and everything in there was just shaking. It wasn't like rocking. It was just like
Right.
Yeah.
Just like
Dude, yeah, I had two prom glasses on. Well, it had to be 92 because I had two prom glasses sitting on on my dresser, and those prom glasses was wobbling, about to fall over. But dude, that was it, man. I jumped up. I looked out the windows, and I run outside in the yard, run down the stairs, and went outside. And honest to God, I'm looking for like a big fireball and a mushroom cloud. I thought the Russians had done got us.
Yeah. Well, there at our store, we had every mixture of people you could think of, different religions and beliefs and whatever. And our buddy Richard, he collected cars, and he wasn't married at the time. I was up late one night, and my house had a pretty good sized garage, old slab we had poured, and it's on top of that rock. So I felt it one night. It started doing that vibrating. It was a small one. And I was up late enough. I'm like, dadgum, I felt that before. That's a small earthquake. Well, we didn't have the internet as prominent back then. It was getting going. And some of the neighbors were coming in, man, did y'all feel that last night? And others were asleep, had maybe on a bunch of dirt or whatever. They didn't feel it. It seemed like most of us had something on the slab, kind of felt some of it. Well, Richard was atheist. And Richard come in, and we'd have been talking about it. And he got up late, beard oil, and he come in. He was kind of looking for. I forgot about it, and he went over and got his coffee, and he was stirring. He said, "I got to ask you something." I'm like, "What?" He said, "Were you up about 10:30 last night?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "Did you feel anything weird?" I said, "What do you mean weird?" Well, I was in the bed, and all of a sudden the house started shaking. And I jumped up. He said, it scared me. And I didn't know what it was. I said, that's the old devil coming to get you.
Yeah, that's what I thought was happening. I thought the whole world was coming to end.
He didn't know what to say. And I started laughing. I said, Richard, we had an earthquake last night about 10:30, dude. And but he was starting to question his own all of his beliefs and stuff. He thought something I got after him.
Dude, it's probably been about 12, 14 years ago now, somewhere like that. We had an earthquake right there where my house is, which I don't live but a mile from mom and dad's. But me and Wanda and Colt, I know Colt he was young. I don't remember if Abby was even born then. But dude, they can plot. The U.S. Geological bunch can plot where like the epicenter is. And that one, it shook my house, but it was more like what I was talking about. It was just like like a big vibrator. Just, and
Look, what Pyro just said, that explained it just perfect.
what'd he say?
Said I felt like a long roll of thunder. It vibrated the windows.
Yep. That's
just
pretty much
kicked.
it, dude. Yep.
It
That's
didn't,
a whole bunch like it. Yes, sir.
it
100%.
didn't
But
stop. It just kept going.
yeah, that one at my house, though, when they plotted it on the news, they showed a map of Alabama. Then they kept going in and going in, and it had the epicenter. I kid you not. If you walk from my house, it's about 320 feet. There's a big creek and another creek that tie into it. The epicenter was where those two creeks meet. So the epicenter for that thing was 300 feet from my house. I was like ground zero on that one.
The first one I ever felt, we lived in a double wide, and Mama and Rachel were gone somewhere, and it was by the time it was before the late news it wasn't the late news. It was probably the 6 o'clock version, but it had to be like wintertime because it was dark, and I'm laying there playing my Hot Wheels on the kitchen floor on the linoleum.
Yeah.
And I'm scared of storms because one of my first memories is my mama throwing me in the closet and throwing mattresses on top of us because there's tornado within sight, So we is that your phone?
Somebody was calling me. I'll call him back in a minute. I had to wait for it to pop up.
I heard it. I normally can't hear stuff like that, but so I'm laying there on my belly just playing with my cars or whatever, and all of a sudden and I'm like, I jumped up. I said, Daddy, is it storming outside? He said, No, boy, it's clear cold out there. I said, it sounds like a tornado. I was panicking. I was probably 9, maybe 10. So he had to take me outside to show me. And we went out there, and it was calm as everything. And I said, the trailer shook. No, it didn't. I'm like, yes, it did. I argued with him a little bit. We sat and watched the news. There was about 20 minutes later, the news come on, and they reported a small earthquake in Middle Tennessee. And he said, well, I guess you was right. It just wasn't a tornado or wind. But hey, it wasn't supposed to do that. I ain't never seen anything like that before.
No, that's the wonderful things about, Alabama and the part of Tennessee you're in. We're cursed with tornadoes. That's what we kept trying to, me and Kumbo was explaining to Patrick Noble is, Patrick kept asking about like the storm shelters. We got those big above ground storm shelters, like community shelters.
Yeah.
They'll hold like 135 people. I said, they're rated. Each one of those big ones is rated for 135. I said, but you can put over 200 scared people in there. I mean, that's just part of it. But man, seriously, this part of Alabama, we get more tornadoes per square mile than what they label out, in the Midwest as Tornado Alley. We get a lot more tornadoes than they get. And ours ain't little ones either. We get a lot of F3s, 4s, and 5s. We get the bad ones.
And that storm shelter with 135 mile an hour winds, if F5 hits, you're just out of luck, probably. But the
ones that's here in Alabama, they're rated for an F5. Those things are, golly, Roger, they're steel and they're above ground. But they poured like a 3-foot thick slab to put them on. And they're like, I think they're 16 feet wide, and they're like 80 feet long, and they're not but about 7.5, 8 foot tall, and they're rounded. And those things, man, it look, when you go from the outside, it just looks like it comes up flat. It's like a dome, and it goes back down, and it's just slick, smooth steel. When you walk up there and look at it, those things are made out of it's like 1/2-inch steel plate. That stuff's thick.
Yeah.
And when you go inside of it, it's like I-beam. It's near like railroad track that they heated, and that thing's got a big rib cage in it.
That ain't going nowhere.
It's unreal how they're built.
I used to go to Gunnersville a lot, and they had like 2 or 3 together there at the park.
Yeah.
Where, I guess they were that size, but that's the first ones I'd ever laid eyes on. Well, I had a storm shelter. We had to tear this old house down to build, and they were like, "You're gonna dig that thing up or cave it in. And no. That's the best thing about this property. All
Yes,
I had to
sir.
do is put a door on it and we're good to go. I get dove off in that thing a many times. That's the thing. People talk about tornadoes, and I'm like, I don't like talking about them because we've got seeing one's bad enough, you know. And there
Yeah.
was what's funny, y'all, earthquakes. I watched some of the news earlier, and they had it was East Tennessee where I guess close to the epicenter. There was a big boom, you know, and then everything started shaking. And some of these people that moved in here from California were commenting. I thought I got away from that from the West Coast. And welcome to the East, y'all. Southeast, we get it all. It might not be as big, but they have been. You know,
Roger and
how many of them people in chat know how Reelfoot Lake was formed? Have you ever heard that story, Greg?
yeah.
The earthquake hit and the Mississippi River flowed backwards for days back into what is now Reelfoot Lake. So we in the past we've had some big ones. I wasn't around for that one though.
No, that dude back in '93, I was on my way home. That was the first time I went to college, and I went up I had like 3 college classes that morning, or that day, and I made it to 2 of them. And between the second and the third one, some bad storms come through. Well, I'm talking about, they was hailstones bigger than softballs, and it wiped out tens of thousands of cars here in that county that joins me, and they called school off. Well, man, I had a Ford Ranger pickup 4-wheel drive sitting on bigger, like it was jacked up a little bit and had motors on it. And I took off home. Well, it took me about 35 minutes to get home. About halfway home, I come around the curve and there was a little bit of traffic, and it was like a small 4-lane, and there was cars like whooping off the side. Well, I whooped out and went around them, and then I figured out why they were stopping. When I looked to my left, there was a F1 tornado laying trees down, and that thing was coming from my left, coming at me. I didn't have any choice. I nailed it. And I mean, I went from like 35 mile an hour I got up to probably 40, and the back end of my truck started raising, and it picked it up and it slid my truck off the side of the road down kind of like a sloping little ditch. Well, when it turned my truck toward the storm, the back end set back down. When it did, I never let off the gas. I come back out in the road. I went about 2 truck lengths, and it done the same thing. It picked the back end up and it turned it. It did that 3 times within about 50 or 60 yards. And dude, I never let out of it. Every time it would pick it up and turn it, it would set back down. I'd come back out in the road. Third time I come back out in the road, I got far enough out of it, and the thing went on across the road behind me. And dude, they was pine trees, I'm talking about big trees, just laying down. But yeah, people's like, you ever been close to a tornado? I'm like, hell, I drove through the middle of one.
Yeah. Larry Sharp. Thank you, sir. Larry's y'all, for most of y'all that have gifted memberships, they're 99 cents. All but 10 of them have been gifted by Mr. Sharp. So thank him. And I want to do some special stuff for y'all, but I don't want to leave other people out either. And I don't want to make anybody mad. And so if what I might do, if I have a little video, I might release it a day or 2 early and let y'all look at it. And then, but thank you, sir. Larry, didn't you say you're in a researching and you was close to a what'd you tell me today? Cemetery. I can't think, y'all. I need something to eat. That's one thing I don't want to be doing. I don't unless I'm like going to visit my dad at night or something. But yeah, with just tornado stories, the whole chat probably we could probably tell those for days. Just last year when Spencer Spencer, I guess, doesn't believe some of my stories, and I understand why. I mean, because some of them are just sound like they're just crazy. But Spencer likes to smoke Perdomo cigars, and I had met Mr. Perdomo a few times. And long story short, I knew where he was going to be at, and I went in and talked to him a little bit, went to the restroom, bought a few cigars, and we were just chit-chatting. And I told him about Spencer, about my buddy in Virginia. And he said, call him. I'm like, what? He said, call him. I'll talk to him. So that's when I think Spencer told him he loved him. Nick Perdomo said, I love you too, Spencer. And I'm like, did he say? But all this is going on, and you get your alerts on your phone, and I'm looking, I'm like, y'all, I gotta go. I gotta get back to Lewisburg, Cornersville. So I get an alert. It pops up on my phone. It's like something I've never seen before. And I look down, and I'm in the cone of death. There's a V, and there's a little dot back here. There was tornado, and my dot where my car was at was right in the center. And I called Peyton. I said, which way is that thing headed? Because I knew I could go out here and hit 431 north or south. I think it's 431, maybe 31. But anyway, regardless, I didn't know whether I needed to turn around or go. And when I teed off, right, go south or go north. Well, he told me it was headed northeast. And I hit the skinny pedal as fast as I could go in that rain in that orange Challenger. And I got to that T, and I took a right. And I'm looking over to the right, and there's people coming out of the houses with their phones videoing. And I'm like, oh, that ain't good. And so the rain stops, which is another bad sign. Usually when the rain stops, you better be hunting a hole. So I'm flying down this highway, hoping I guessed right. And I'm looking up in the rearview mirror, and I see that thing come across the highway behind me about a half mile or so. And I talked about it, and I told that story, and I'm like, whew, man, it scared me. Greg, me and Heather went up a few months later. And when I got to that corner of where I turned and went south, there was houses gone in that T. That's where I was sitting. So if I'd have been, a minute or two slower, man, and look, it worked out. God was with me and everything. I know, and the alert, I've never had anything like that happen. But I don't know if Greg feels like this or not. I'm not scared of a whole lot, but you can't shoot a tornado.
No. No, Roger is look. That's what I was showing Patrick. Is man here? If you ride down the road and look at 10 houses going down the road, any road, odds are there's probably 6 or 7 of those houses has got their own storm shelters. I mean, you just about where I'm at, don't build a house unless you're planning on putting a shelter in. And
I've seen some of them there close to you. I mean, there's one facing the road. It's right on the road.
Yeah, well, there's 2 right in front of my house that there's 2 of my cousins live. It's a brother and a sister that live side by side, and they both got their own shelters. And I've got a big vault room shelter in my basement. It's the walls are 12 inches thick concrete, and the roof's 12 inches of concrete, and the door on it's made out of 3/8 plate steel.
Well, Pyro's talking about seeing the rain coming down and sucking back up before it hit the ground. If you're ever standing there and you got some of that Forrest Gump sideways rain, and it starts going back the other way, that's another sign you are too close. And I'm gonna tell y'all this, Greg's talking about softball size hail. Early 90s, we had it here. We had 90 something tornadoes that confirmed mornings that day. It was bad. Oh God, it was after 2:00 because I got off work at 2, got home at 2:30, and about 3 it started hitting. But there was softball size hail, just destroyed cars on the interstate. And one of my old buddies, he said, y'all know the cassette, he had an older truck and he had cassettes and he had a cassette case. He said, if I hadn't had that, he said he got pulled over and he put it up over his head, and them things was coming in and hitting him, beating him up. There was ambulances carrying people to the hospitals. One guy said, we were talking, and he said, in the neighborhood over there, and then there was another neighborhood, and they were talking. He said, man, I was in my living room, and these things were coming. I had an open living room from front to back. They were coming in the window, bouncing and skipping and going out to other windows. And then, so the guy was like, wait a minute, coming in your back? He's like, yes. He said, They were hitting my house on the other side, just right over there. And I'm like,
Mhm.
well, y'all, that's where the center of it was, right between y'all then.
Yeah.
Because if it's coming out one way here, man, you talking about there's all kind of stories. It beat hay down that hadn't been cut yet. It was laying flat. It looked like somebody went and made with crop circles, just laid stuff down. It beat these fields full of hay down, and you got these ice balls all over the place, and it's still 85 degrees probably outside. Now think about the mist that's rising up off the ground.
Yep.
That was one of the eeriest sights that I've ever seen. So
Roger,
I get tore up talking about them things.
dude,
Sorry,
we
y'all.
had a hailstorm come through Coleman, Alabama. It's been, I think it was 2011. I'm pretty sure it was 2011, and it was when we had the big super tornado outbreak. But we had a hailstorm that came through up there. And Roger, these stones were bigger than softballs. And I'll tell you how bad it was. And I don't mean one or two. I'm talking about there was a bunch of houses that it destroyed the central units outside. I went and gave bids on replacing the outdoor central units, and it looked like you beat them with a sledgehammer. I'm talking about the tops caved in on central units. And I went to some houses that they had adjusters going around, and they had contractors, and they were going inside. And a friend of mine, she's a real estate agent. I saw her there, and it was a house that they had up for sale. She said, "Come in here and look at this." And people talk about hail damage, and they think about it knocking shingles off. It was all over the news, and I went in and saw it firsthand. Look, dude, you could walk in the living room of these houses, and you could stand and look through gaping holes that big and see daylight. It knocked the sheetrock out of the ceiling and actually damaged furniture in the living room.
Yep.
They would be holes. I'm talking about holes that big through the shingle roof, through the plywood, and it would go through the ceiling in the living room and the bed, every room in the house. It was not blowing holes in the sheetrock, and the hail would be big enough. It was busting like kitchen tables. It was hitting the furniture, knocking pictures off the wall.
For y'all that live out west, it might confuse you what he just said. They're bigger than softballs, but what they do is the stronger the tornado, they'll come down and be sucked back up like that rain that Pyro's talking about. So on the trip back up, it may touch another one and freeze to it.
They'll stick, yes.
Yeah, if it makes 3 or 4 or 5 trips and they get clumped together bigger than a basketball, when they come down, that ain't nothing stopping them. And I've seen holes I didn't see it. One of my neighbors, he said they came home, had a hole in the roof bigger than a basketball, and couldn't figure out, and the carpet was wet. And that's the only thing they could figure was one of them clumped together and just happened to, hit.
Yeah.
So
dude, I saw stones up there it would be bigger than softballs, but they would be like 3 or 4 would be stuck together in a funky pattern. It may be stretched out, but it would be one big chunk of ice. It'd be like 3 or 4 big balls like glued together or froze together.
Yep.
And there was impacts like out in people's yards.
Yes.
They would be a hole. It'd be like 8 inches deep and big around as a 5-gallon bucket where they'd hit and just blow the mud out.
I've had witnesses, family tell me that they could hear every time it hit the ground. Well, I've heard it too. In the 70s when I was little, and I told that story about my aunt. There was about baseball size, softball size hail falling. It's 1974. I was little, maybe 75. I was about 4 years old, and the power was out and everything. They'd have flashlights. We could hear it thumping out there, and he shined the light out there. And my Aunt Barb was she might have been about 18 or so at the time. She used to live with us when she was 14. She was a little older here. She had put a pot over her, an aluminum pot over her head, and she was going to get one of them. And she took off running out in the yard and pitch dark, going to grab one of these hailstones and run back in. She disappears in the dark. My daddy's screaming, "Barb, no!" I heard it. Dong! My dad's cussing. He gets one of them green Tupperware bowls. That's all he could find, the plastic. and I could hear the stones hitting him in the back and him yelling. You ever seen the pictures of those cavemen dragging the women? You know, he had my Aunt Barb. I don't know what body part he had, but he was running with that, holding that green Tupperware. If I'd had that on video, y'all, but he drug her back up on that porch and he was wanting to be mad at her, but they scared she was dead. Best mic check ever.
you know, Roger, I was telling you, you said something right there. It made me think about it. I was explaining to Patrick the other day when you said something about the green Tupperware bowl. You know, around here, yeah, you got to watch for ominous looking clouds and real dark black clouds. But if you go out and you look up in Alabama, if you look up and the clouds has got a little bit of a green hue to them, you better be finding you a damn hole.
You're in trouble. If it's pink, it's got hail in it. If it's green, it's got a funnel cloud. And because, I mean, you can look at the horizon, and I've noticed it. And people will tell you, pink is high windish, you know, whatever. But if it ever starts getting that green hue to it, you better be, like you said, hunting a hole. Better start groundhogging.
Yeah, but it will. The clouds will actually be a light tint of green colored.
Yes, sir.
That is not a good sign.
No. And the bad part is, this is information we don't want to know. I wished I didn't know this stuff because it does help. One time, y'all worked for the lottery, and we're at this big function, and the crew I'm working with, I had the rural, one of the biggest. I had the second biggest route in the state, but I was rural route, you know, because you know, the rural route's my people, right? So I'm up around Lebanon, and they got this huge state fair going on, and they would put us together in different teams. And these two girls, they're from a city. They lived in the city all their life, like downtown city. There was a cloud come up, and I was watching it, and they're like, "Oh no, is that going to get us?" And I did the wind test. I licked my finger and stuck my finger up in the air, you know, and I'm like, "Oh no, it's headed that way or whatever." And they were freaking out. They said, I ain't never seen no country ass like what I'm telling you, we're good. How do you know? I'm like, just leave me alone. But you know, when you watch Ryan Hall and the meteorologist, and over the years we've learned these terms, and it's not because we're interested in it. It can save your life, you know. But yeah, I mean, even knowing where not to get there, we had our store, it was not safe at all. And those hailstones beat it up, but we didn't see it. It was on the roof. And the next good rain we had, it looked like a indoor waterfall, the whole back wall. It beat the roof up back there, and we didn't go up and check the roof. And because it was they had dug into a hill, and there was limestone behind it. It was kind of like a U shape. So it was protected there, but the very top lip of it had beat up. And man, there was the electric box back there, the fuse box and all that. There was water running down there. I'm like, what in the world? I think I grabbed a mop and hit the main power, cut it off to everything. People was pumping gas and started, you know, throwing a fit.
Roger,
anyway,
you know, I know there's a lot of people probably in chat that's never been close to even where tornadoes went through. But, you know, living here and growing up around these things every year and multiple times a year, you know, we have, like where you and I are, we have 2 tornado seasons. You know, we have a tornado season in the spring and one in the fall. And I mean, that's just a fact. It is 2 tornadoes. We have a fall and a spring tornado season.
Yeah.
And man, you know, I've actually walked on the ground where the F5s have come through.
Oh yeah.
And when you walk through that and see what Mother Nature can do, it's phenomenal. Dude, you know, I walked over at Hackleburg, Alabama, and I'll give these folks something to do. When the show ends, go on YouTube and look up Hackleburg, 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 Alabama, 2011 F5. And look, just within, hours of that coming through, I was over there doing security, me being law enforcement. We went over and helped out, because what's so sad is after a disaster like that, you have people come out of the woodwork from even other states. They'll come in and pillage just to see what they can find and steal.
Right.
And I went over there for 5 days in a row helping them out, because it's a neighboring county. I went over there riding around, being seen and checking people, making sure that they were legitimate to be there at the property where they were. But dude, we put at least one person or one group of people in jail every day for the 5 days I was there for looting. It was crazy. But dude, the horrible thing about it is when you're driving down the road on an asphalt road and you come around the curve and you look and the road ain't there no more.
Yeah,
it's just dirt. The asphalt, the entire asphalt road has been sucked off of the ground.
Yeah.
It's gone.
That's where it crossed at. Yep.
And dude, they would be places you could tell that there was a house there. You could pull up, walk up, and it would be bare dirt where they had a concrete driveway, where they had a concrete sidewalk. It would be gone. The foundation of the house would be gone. The only thing left would be the concrete footer that was poured in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You could walk up and see where the block had been laid. It looked like they were fixing to build a house. Right. But it would be, you talk to neighbors or somebody that lived there that had rode it out in a storm shelter and it didn't get killed. And you'd say, hey, what kind of house did y'all have? And they'd be like, oh, it was 1,800 square foot brick home, blah, blah, blah. And it would be absolutely nothing left.
Well,
there was dude, I saw basement, below ground basements. It sucked the house off the top, and all the concrete block that were above the ground were gone. All the furniture, even some of the basements that were empty, you could see the adhesive, the glue on the concrete where they had carpet glued down on the concrete floor. It sucked the carpet off of that floor, was gone.
Yep. And look, y'all, people that move into the area, I'm not going to say Tennessee, I'm going to say into the area, Southeast. And it'll be Thanksgiving or Christmas, and they're like, oh, the weather's so nice. It's 82 degrees. I'm like, oh my God, you don't know what's coming. Because if it ever gets hot in the wintertime around here, it doesn't happen every time, but there's a good possibility that the next couple of days are going to be pretty terrifying. Because when that cold front does come in and hits that warm air, but we could, and I don't know how we got off on, the tornadoes, but it's great. Y'all, Greg, tell them about Spencer. Spencer was checking on us, and we had 3 days worth of tornadoes, and the thing is, I designated myself, I didn't ask nobody, to learn to watch these shows and look at the, you can tell if you're going to be good by 1.5 miles, 2 miles, you know what I mean? Unless it changes or whatever. And you can take those angles and you can extend them out and see if you need to go visit Greg or go visit somebody else, get out of the area. So Spencer was like checking on us and praying for us and whatever. And me and Greg, in stressful situations, you joke about things or whatever. He said, how are y'all so calm? We're like, we're not. We're dealing with it as each cell, don't worry about the one in Mississippi right now, but it's coming at our angle. It may fizzle out. And then we started telling him about, we're looking at the dew points and all that, and I'm getting on here. And if I see that our dew point's at a 58, but 8 miles over, it's at a 64, I'm pretty much on that line where they're going to fizzle out, hopefully. It's not perfect, but we start paying attention to stuff like that, because it can mean life or death, and look, if it was just me, Greg, if it was just you, I wouldn't really worry about it that bad. But when you got family that don't keep up with it, no,
yeah.
If you see somebody, at one time I was so big, it was crazy, but I was about 330 pounds, and I was out on the deck up on top of the hill, and I hear something. There's one tearing Mooresville up. I can hear it. That boom, 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 boom. 4 or 5 miles away, and I'm like, oh my God, there ain't nobody gonna be left over there. There's a spinoff one come down the holler, and the trees started doing this number different, and I'm like, oh crap, there's rain wrapped. There was a small one. We were up on that hill. We had a full basement, and in the back left corner, when the people built it originally, they put 12-inch blocks, put rebar and concrete. And I don't know what they're going to do, but we had to build a special door and door facing door, whatever. And that was my spot if it was storming real bad. And so I'm coming down a flight of steps, trying to get 350 pounds down a flight of steps without killing myself. What's wrong? Tornado. Where? I'm like, I ain't, if I'm running, I'm either running to tater tots or running away from a tornado. So
Yeah.
ain't no in between. So, but yeah, and all y'all have stories like this. I mean, Selena, Greg, never seen or heard a mic check be this awesomely interesting.
Hey, Roger, I had one of my cousins one day. He's like, man, y'all go to the tornado or y'all go to the storm shelter every time it does anything. I said, yeah, when it's blowing trees down, houses away. He said, don't worry about that anymore. He said, I'm 60-year-old. Said, when it's my time, it's just my time. I said, well, I agree with that. I said, but look here. If the good Lord's going to take me out like that with a tornado, he's not going to have to look around for me. I'm going to be in that damn storm shelter and he know where I'm at.
Right. And he put Ryan Hall on your TV. So you've ever heard the joke? Like the guy was storming for days and the water was rising and he's out on the porch, couldn't get out. It was flooded around his house. And the guys pulled up in a boat, said, hey, we're here to rescue you. No, I'm okay. Good Lord's going to take care of me. And like, you sure? Yeah, well, we ain't got time to argue with you. We got other people who needs help. Water kept rising. Next day, he's up on the top floor looking out the window. Here come the boat. Them same guys. Hey, man, you still here? Come on, get in the boat with us. We're going to help you out. No, man, I'll be all right. Good Lord's going to take care of me. Well, dude, we got other people to help. And, we'll pray for you. They come by that third day. He's up on the tip of the roof. And the guys in the boat had seen him and they sent a rescue helicopter over and they come in and he was yelling, no, I'll be okay. Good Lord's going to take care of me. St. Peter looked up a few hours later and there's this dummy standing at the pearly gates. He said, what you doing here? He said, man, I kept waiting. Kept waiting on the good Lord to take care of me. He said, hold on. He's going through. We sent you 2 boats and a helicopter. Why are you here?
Yeah, that's a fact.
So, yeah, you got to help yourself too. Ryan Hall, y'all. There's another one too. And I like because they lock on to the worst parts and stay with them. But the Freckles,
Roger, right here in Alabama, especially middle Alabama and all of North Alabama, there's a meteorologist in Birmingham, and dude, he's more famous. He's probably the most famous person in Alabama. That ain't no joke.
I know who he is. Heck, I get alerts from him myself, and I ain't even signed up for nothing.
James Spann.
Yeah.
Son, I'm not looking at he's like next level. You can always tell when it's gonna get bad. He's gonna break in on the TV. And when you see him first on there, he'll be wearing his suit and his, have his jacket and his tie. And then the worse it gets, next thing you know, you look up and he's got his sports coat off. And then here in a little bit, when you see him, his tie's gone, his shirt's unbuttoned a couple of buttons. You better have your ass in a hole somewhere.
Yeah.
It's done got bad.
I don't know if I've told y'all this, but Peyton has a kinfolk. How I saw him the first time, and I didn't know he was kin to him. You remember the old satellites? You go G9 and take it a minute to get over to G5 or G5, and then you go to other satellites. The big satellites. And so in Chicago, there's a weatherman. His last name was Sorrells, and I thought, well, that's Peyton's got some family Sorrells, but they're in Tennessee. And this guy didn't have an accent, right? Well, we went to a family reunion a few years later, and here this dude sits down in front of me, and I'm like, you look familiar, but he had a big old goose egg. Looked like somebody had popped him with a wiffle ball bat right there. It just, of course, us guys can't put makeup on, so it wasn't hidden. And I said, you kind of look familiar. He said, well, I don't know why. I said, I've seen you on TV, hadn't I? Well, if you watch the Chicago weather, I'm the weatherman for whatever channel. I'm like, oh, Sorrels. That makes sense. Where's Sorrel? Okay, yeah. I seen you. You seen me on TV? Yeah. I was like, what the hell happened to your face? He lived in Robertson County. He said, we had tornadoes a couple of days ago. I'm like, yeah. He said, well, my job as a weatherman is tell people to get inside, go to safe levels, do everything you can to take care of yourself. He said, we had a tornado warning, and I was at my mom and daddy's, and I run out on the porch to look at it. He said, the screen door come off and popped me right between the eyes.
Wow.
Said, so I don't know what I'm going to tell people when I get back. I hope it goes down, but, what are the odds of, I mean, if he'd have sat down somewhere else, I never would have known he was kin to him, but
Yeah.
I've had strange things happen like that all my life. Sorrels. No, it's Sorrells, maybe. I can't think of his first name. He had black hair. He was a thin guy. He must have been hiding his accent.
Man.
Hey, Moggs, what's up? This is no particular order here. We just shoot anybody.
Roger, they're getting a sneak peek at what mine and your private conversations consist of a lot of times.
Yeah.
It's called swapping war stories.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got this scar from, or Greg will tell something, but dude, I forgot all about that. I got something like that happened to me. Hey,
just think how good it would be if either one of us had ever went to band camp, Roger.
I know. Hey, yeah, them school trips about got me banned from school before, so I don't know I don't know if I could tell them stories. It got so bad. It got so bad. It got so bad. I had to blackmail the teacher that took us on the trip because I was out by 3:00 in the morning and smelt marijuana coming out from under the door, and she was going to tell on us for some stuff. And I said, we need to have a talk. So you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Anybody got any questions for us about anything? I mean, we don't really
look like Robert had a question a while ago about when I was cutting wood. Thing about it, Robert, I don't never cut wood. I've never had, when I was cutting anything, I never have had them go crazy. But I'll tell you this, they don't like it when I bush hog over here where I hunt on that property that's a mile from here. I've had them a couple of times throw a dang fit when I was over at bush hogging.
And y'all, here's what I think about some of this, like if you're deer hunting and if there's a constant noise, it doesn't scare the animals as bad, but if it's sudden noises, that's what they'll react to. I remember one time is where I saw the Bigfoot at, but I don't remember if it was before or after. Same field. I was mowing the yard on a riding mower. We had an old riding mower, so on the drive. The hard didn't even have air in the tires. It was hard tires. And I went around and looked up that lane where you go to the cemetery, and there were some deer standing up there. Well, I took off up through there and rode right up on them. Y'all, hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Man down. Y'all, these boogers here, they don't like loud noises. I mean, I've had all kind of stuff set them off. Airplane fly over real low. Sometimes we'll have like a Air Force jet come in, like a fighter jet fly through here. I don't know what they're doing, if they're going to Huntsville airfield or what. I don't know where they're going, but they'll fly through here. I've been out in the woods and had one fly over that thing like skimming the damn treetops. And as soon as that thing would go over, it wouldn't be for just a minute. Dadgum boogers go to screaming. They have to go to throwing a fit, acting crazy. I had that a lot of times, but I've had them several occasions. I had to learn that it didn't matter how late I wanted to bush hog. By an hour or so before dark, I'll tend to quit. I don't bush hog right up till dark anymore, and I sure don't bush hog after dark because they don't like it.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Hey, Forrest friend. Oh, she's talking about Roger Blair. That's always confusing. Roger Blair come in and I'm under Squatch and Holler and everybody's like, Roger. And I'm like, hey, and they ain't talking to me.
Oh,
Am I on? Man.
Gary, I tried to, or no, it's Hillary. I can't hardly see it up there. The part of my screen where the live chat where I'm reading it, it's like the letters are blending in. I can see it now once it moved up. But Hillary, we made sure we fed Pat pretty good. I fried up a bunch of deer meat one night and made biscuits and homemade gravy and fried up a bunch of deer cube tenderloin and done some scrambled eggs. Just old southern redneck food. But I don't know how much tenderloin he ate. I put a bunch of tenderloin in the refrigerator, and he munched on it for 2 days.
Man, it's funny the people, the places people are from that watch these shows. Because if I'm not doing a show or on a show, I'm trying to watch some because there's just nothing on TV for me much. There's some things I like, but the representation of all these states is crazy. And the thing that we the things that we talk about is crazy.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I'm glad to see Moggs in here. He man, tell Stevie B that we still been praying for her about her losing her dad.
Yeah, that's horrible. You don't ever go through that.
No.
TV is horrible now. It's well, what about this, y'all? All of us are close to the same age, and there's only like a dozen or 2 dozen plots that they can come up with. I mean, and we've seen all this stuff so much, we know what's going to happen before, and then the actors get worse. So you don't never know what kind of stupid mess is going to come out of my mouth. So
yeah,
and I love the chat. I love the humor of the chat.
Hey, Wendell said he gets to see Patrick this evening. I guess he's going to Mark's fire pit. Okay. Wendell, don't be Wendell and Pat too hard now.
Well, you don't want him to feel left out either. There's a balance there. You don't.
That's true. That's true.
So I drove all the way to Alabama. Wendell's there, and I didn't get Wendell. So,
man, you're gonna get super Wendell's. What's gonna happen? It'd be like taking your DNA and fingerprints and everything.
Greg, there's a shofar on Marketplace in Jasper for $20. You can blow while you're bush. Okay.
Oh my God.
I don't want no part of that.
Yeah, look, dude. The only shofar horn that I want, I done told Coonbo, I made him swear to me he's gonna leave it in his will, leave me a shofar. He said, I thought you didn't want to blow a shofar anymore. I said, I don't. I said, I'm going to take lag screws and screw it to the down wall right there where nobody could ever blow that damn thing again.
Well, listen. So, we all had a buddy that kind of got upset because some people said some negative things about him blowing his shofar and all that. Here's the thing with that. First off, a lot of people care about you and know what can happen and like be careful or whatever. Some of them are like, at least be careful and make sure there are no families in the area or people that are not aware of what could happen. And Greg, I've never been around one, but I've heard stories of what can happen. And when you got grown men tripping over each other, get to a truck to get in, to leave, it's, if somebody takes time to say be careful, it's because they care about you. It's not that they're getting on to you, I don't think.
Well, I mean, me and Coonbo talked about it. We talk about it all the time about he'll tell you straight, he'll tell anybody that's one of the things that he wished that he'd kept it private, just amongst like the few of the top researchers that's been with him and watched him use that damn thing.
Yeah.
That wishes he had never like elaborated on that to everybody. And the reason being, it's not that he's wanting to be a Bigfoot hog and not nobody having experience. It's for the fact of the matter, we're afraid somebody's going to get hurt really bad or
Right.
come up missing.
Well,
I
and
mean,
that's the
'cause-
thing. If y'all hadn't have seen what you've seen a few times, you wouldn't know to warn them, you know.
exactly.
And that's
look,
like,
I'm telling y'all, I don't care about. I've had the encounters. I got it. I've had them. I've had encounters for the last 25 years. I've had several glimpses of these things, and I don't even count those as having a sighting because I've seen glimpses. But I've had 4 that I saw really, really damn good, and that's in 25 years. But I mean, I know they're real. I've seen them. I've lived around them. I've had all this shit happen to me. And I don't care a damn about going out with a damn shofar horn being blown. I don't. I
that's
do
what,
not, because I like I said, I've seen both spectrums, both ends of the spectrum. Of they come in and they let you know they're there. They come in, they get quiet, then they leave. I mean,
and I
it
think a
ain't
lot of
like it's
people,
gonna make them walk up there and wave their winky at you and just or throw their hand out and shake it, and pat you on the head.
well,
They'll
and a
come
lot,
in, and most time you're not gonna see them. I'll just say I've never seen them like come up and just show themselves because you blew the shofar. But they damn
well,
sure come in, and you 100% know they're there, and they'll get close.
and some,
But I've also been there when the damn things was tearing the whole world apart.
yeah,
Irate, pissed off, and Kumbo look around and go, "Boys, we got to go." And there ain't nobody sitting there arguing or going, "How come? Why? We're here to call them in, and here they are." Oh, hell to the no. When they come in doing what I've seen them do, I promise you, I don't give a shit how bad you want to see one. You'd absolutely be totally crazy, ready to go to the damn insane asylum if you wasn't the first person in the truck. Because
yeah,
when they come in there throwing the damn fit, I don't know anybody on the planet that's going to want to stand there and just, hey, I wonder what's going to happen.
right.
If you got any thread of self-preservation, you won't have to be forced to get in a vehicle and get the hell out of there. Ain't no way.
And what was bad, you had the guy, the guy that was going in as y'all were coming out, and he made a U-turn, I know. But and another thing too with a lot of this, people were like, I didn't think about this till the other night. I was doing a show, and the guy was like, I said this before, but he said, "No, wait a minute, this don't make sense. You said you turned into a field hunter and you didn't go deep in the woods and blah blah blah. It changed everything, but you're going out at night researching." I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we don't go 8 miles deep in the woods with horses and whatever." It like Bama and them said, Bama and Barry said, we're beside a truck and a way to get out of there. It's just locating calls, whatever. Nobody wants to go up in the living room with these things, and a lot of times I don't even know why we do it. I mean, but I would love to go with y'all. I don't know why, but if I'm have my truck running, or well, it won't be running. But I think a lot of people, and you see people do this all the time. They'll be in somewhere in another state or even in Tennessee, and they'll go miles and miles back without anything but a knife. And I'm like, they're, we've got wild hogs now, and that alone is one reason you don't, carry something with you. And it's not that you're hunting the hogs will hunt you. So if you get down and get hurt, if I was out by myself when I was in good health, twisting my ankle, broke my ankle, and maybe and broke the skin, maybe had a compound fracture, the coyotes, everything is going to smell that blood, and you're going to be down on the ground, hoping help. You can call, even if you got a phone. They're 30 minutes away, an hour away. If you're laying there with just a knife, you're in a bad spot, whether you know it or not. So y'all just be careful. If y'all do this, I mean, I won't tell anybody what to do. I'll just say, hey, be careful. And I'm not getting out there like that.
Not Roger. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do or not to do. I just want to caution them that what they're playing with can be very dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it in person. Everybody you know, let's just face it. I mean, Kumbo's the one that brought all this out. I mean, he's the one that him and one other guy, the other guy had the idea and then passed it off to Kumbo, and then Kumbo wound up finding one. He figured out what to do and how to do it and thought to try it. And, you know, man, it just went sideways from there. And, you know, that's the main thing for anybody. I just look, somebody goes out and toots one of the damn things and gets their damn head ripped off. I don't want anybody to go, man, I wish somebody had told them they could have got hurt doing this and da. Look, all I'm doing is telling anybody, if you want to go get you one, have at it. More power to you. But I want y'all to realize that that'd be like if you was wanting to go swim with the sharks. You know, you may go swim around the reef, there's sharks gliding around. But that'd be like having an idea. Well, you know what? I bet if we carried us 10 gallons of blood and chunked up stuff and poured it in the water, we'd get sharks up close.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that'd probably work. But you may or not to get them into a damn feeding frenzy while you're in the water instead of you in the boat. That ain't a good place to be.
And one thing I like to get across, we've talked about this a bunch. We've got new people in here right now. You'll talk to somebody that's been around these things for 40 years and say, oh, all of mine are all sweet. That's fine. But it ain't like that everywhere. And then some of them, they do bluff charges and they try to scare you, and then you might live amongst them or whatever. But I mean, we raised a certain breed of dog, and 99 of them would be awesome. And then you'd have that one. We got people like that in our family. You know, most everybody's good people, and then you got that one. There's always don't get too relaxed, I guess. Because, you know, if you hear Kumbo talk, Greg, even they fight amongst themselves also. The different clans will move. You remember he said some moved in on his others. Was it last year, year before? And they were fighting and hollering and screaming down there. And they wasn't even getting along. So anyway. Y'all, I'm going to get off. We've been doing this for an hour and a half. I'm going to change the title to something interesting. But I appreciate y'all coming in. It's always fun to talk and chit chat with everybody.
Well, dude, I got to run. I got to go get back to work here in a minute. So big love, everybody. And we'll see y'all soon.
Thank you, Greg.
See you, brother.
Talk to you later. Well, y'all, thank y'all. Let me help him out here. There we go. You know, a lot of these unplanned talks gives us opportunity to actually do some thinking out loud too. And you know, a lot of the comments or questions, you never know when it's going to help somebody. So what do we got going on? We have Thursday night, we have Ken Shivers and Yahola Tiger. Saturday night, we have Dennis Carroll. That's going to be our X show. You know, we're liable to talk about anything. If any of y'all ever heard Mr. Carroll talk, you know, it could be anything in the world. But the thing is, y'all, when you see Amanda online or whatever, wish her a happy anniversary. Her and her husband are going to be gone out of town. So Ashley's filling in Thursday night and Saturday night. So, yeah, I mean, and what we do, you know, if y'all see me every now and then when Greg's talking, I'll write down things. I'll see things y'all say, and so I'll can go look it up or ponder on it later. So, but yeah, I'm glad the mic sounds good. This is going to make it better. I'll be able to hear everything that everybody's saying and won't be guessing sometimes, because the speakers I was using in this laptop are just horrible. And then sometimes when Heather goes to bed, then the speakers hears what keeps her up. You know, so anyway, y'all, thank you. Anybody got any shows they can recommend tonight, tomorrow, Monday? I know Gary Spikes can. Moggs, when are y'all on next? I try to watch everybody. It's hard to though. What I do is I go look at my subscriptions and see who's live, and sometimes there's 10 of us. But anyway, and I'll learn how to use this other piece of equipment too. I may not even need it, which is bad. Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, sir. Tuesday and Thursday. Y'all go check Mogollon Monster. Mogollon Monster. I hope I'm saying it right. Selena, Southern Belle. Wendell, shut up. I don't ignore your stuff. Wendell doesn't have, you're like me. See, I didn't have a set time when I first started. So I've pretty much settled on Thursday nights, and then we have other stuff. But when I did that, a lot of people missed my shows because they didn't know. Yeah, they do have a show. Is it tonight or tomorrow night? Robbie sent an alert out earlier. Hold on a second. I can do that for him. And Mr. Gary sends out alerts. For tomorrow. He sent that today. Uh-oh, y'all. Y'all, hold on a second. I got to respond to this. So, y'all ever heard me tell the story about a guy I went to school with that almost hit the Bigfoot in a Jeep in this county? I talked to him about it one time. I just sent him a message earlier today, and he just agreed to let me tape him telling the story. So that'll be part of something, our little documentary project we're going to start working on. I want y'all to hear that from him. Where it stepped out in front of him on the back road. Him and his wife was in the Jeep. Yeah, but the good thing is about these shows, sometimes we're competing against each other, but we can always go back and watch, you know. I'm excited about that. I hadn't ever asked him to come on the show because I didn't think he would, because he's a teacher. I mean, and obviously, he don't care. That tells you something right there. If you know the truth, you'll tell it. But it's a very good story. I want to get more details out of it too. All right, y'all. Y'all be safe out there. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll play the video. that Keely did. And it might be, hold on, let me check. It may be set to the outro. Hold on. I don't think I changed it. Yes, it's set to the outro. So any of y'all that haven't seen the video that we worked on for a week, that's going to allow us to do more different style videos and actual, not necessarily AI, but let me take video and interview people, and Keely can edit it. So here we go. I'm gonna end the stream, and I'm gonna watch it too, because I love watching it. Talk to y'all later.
By the flickering campfire, tales come alive of a creature in the shadows where legends survive. In Fouke, Arkansas, down in Monster Mark's glow, they saw the beast in 72. The stories still grow. Oh, Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Skunk Ape too. Through history's pages we've been watching you. From cave-drawn echoes to the Smoky Mountain Dew. By the fire we swear the stories are true. In Bluff Creek, California, Sipstick 7's fame. Patterson caught you on film, etched your name. Salt Fork Park in Ohio, where the woods whisper low. footsteps in the moonlit snow. Oh, Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Skunk Ape too. Through history's pages we've been watching you. From cave-drawn echoes to the Smoky Mountain Dew. By the fire we swear the stories are true. Appalachia's old trails, hear your lonesome cry. Oklahoma's dense woods, Sierra Nevada's peaks. Your shadow moves silent, it's the mystery we seek. Cave drawings in the stone from a time long past show a towering figure, intelligence vast. Not just a beast, but a mind that knows, hiding in the wild where the ancient wind blows. Skunk ape roams free, a whiff of the wild in the cypress tree. From the Everglades murk to the campfire's glow, we pass down the tales, let the legend grow. Oh, Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Skunk